Have you ever tried to make a jig or a saw sled and didn't have a hold down knob? Well, stay tuned. We'll make one. Hey there, Lynn of LL Woodworks. I'm glad you're here. I'm especially glad you're here because this is our first video for the LL Woodworks or Lynn Lacey channel. And I appreciate you tuning in. Last week I was overhauling my bandsaw and I had it taken apart and I had the lock knobs off the bottom and I fixed the blade and tensioned the blade and put new cool blocks in it and leveled everything up. You know how it goes when you tune up a bandsaw. Well, went back to put it back together, and up underneath there's two lock knobs. And this is a rigid 14-inch bandsaw with a riser block in it. The lock knobs to lock the table down from underneath, well, one was missing. Got no idea. Clean the shop up, not here. And it's a special M10 by 1.5 metric thread on the bolts. So I decided I'm just going to make a new one. That's what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you how to make knobs for jigs, for machines, whatever you want to do. Quick little video, something simple. So you don't always have to run down to the big box store, the hardware store, the woodworking store, and purchase a knob. And so we're going to make one. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to go about it. Okay, I did manage to find nut that fits the bolt that's in the bandsaw, and it's that, like I mentioned earlier, it's M10 with a 1.5 pitch on it. I found it at Ace Hardware. They're pretty good about having oddball stuff like that. And we're going to imitate this knob, which has got a 2-inch diameter. So I'm just going to use a piece of 2x6 pine. So the first thing we need to do is just pick a point. We'll start a point. That'll be our starting point. Now from there, what I want to do is draw a 2-inch circle. I have this little compass, homemade little wooden compass. This is just handier than pockets on a shirt. It'll make a circle from 3/4 diameter all the way out to 6 inches in diameter. And what I'm going to do is set it to make a 2-inch circle, which is was a 1-inch radius the last time I was in school. So we've got this, and we can make our 2-inch circle. Okay, so we have our circle. That's going to be the basis of our knob. And then I'm going to run a vertical line through it and a horizontal line through it. This will be the point for a 5/8 drill to make the little indentions so we can help grip it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill a 5/8 inch countersink for this to set in, and then we'll drill a 5/8 inch hole all the way through to accommodate. So now it's off to the bandsaw. First order of business is to drill a countersink hole right in the middle, just not quite the depth of this. We'll just do it where about 3/4 of the bit is buried in the wood. Now, to drill all the way through at our 4 points, so we'll have some grip knobs. we have our countersink knob for the nut, and then we have the 4 grip knobs. Now we can take it to the bandsaw and cut out these. That is the beginnings of our knob. I think I will cut a little bit of it off. I'll just do it right here on the bandsaw. Now actually, while I was over at the drill press, I should have drilled a through hole right through there to allow for the bolt to go through. This needs to be rounded over. You could put a round over bit in the router, but I think I'm just going to do it over here on the spindle sander. And then we'll drill a 13/32 through hole, and then we'll be through except for putting some finish on it. So to the spindle sander. So there we have it. Now time back to the drill press for drill one quick hole, through hole, then we'll be ready to glue the nut back in. Okay, it's the next day, and our knob came out pretty good. It is the size we need. I epoxied the nut in, painted it that almost rigid orange, not quite, but close enough, and it served the purpose. I checked online for the replacement knob from Rigid, and it was going to cost $9, I think it said, and up to 10 days or something like that to get it back. This one, I paid 68 cents for the nut at Ace Hardware and used a piece of 2x6 scrap. So a big economic savings, plus we had some fun doing it. But you can do this for jigs, you can do it for any machine, for any lockdown, any way that you need a knob that you've either lost one, like myself, or it's you don't want to run up to the big box store or to the hardware store. So hope you found it useful. I appreciate it. So once again, I appreciate you tuning in. This is again our initial video for our channel. It's good to have you, and I'm going to ask you to do what I call LLS. Like, leave us a comment, and subscribe. And you'll be notified when we come out with next week's video. Actually, starting next week, we're going to start a series on segmented pen blank making. We're going to look at some different aspects. So if you're a pen turner and you've been turning just plain wooden pens or acrylic pens, you want to dress it up a little bit, join us next week. We'll begin series 1 of 3. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next week, and work safe.